wasn't here because I wanted to end my life. I just needed to think about it. Figure out why it was that I kept getting screwed. Especially when I did everything right. At least I tried to. Still, I couldn't catch a break. Everything apparently wasn't enough. I was starting to think it all boiled down to luck, and I hadn't had any of that. Not so far. Not even on the night I was conceived. Twin rays of headlights torpedoed along the highway below, the broken yellow line in the middle of the road flashing as the car sped beneath me. As it disappeared in the opposite direction, it occurred to me that if I had jumped, I probably would have lived. It was only 30 feet down, and my aim was terrible anyway. The car would have veered around me, blasted its horn, and I would have ended up with a few bruised ribs and a busted ankle. Another rumble shook my bones, then another. 2 cars 10 seconds apart. I wondered where they were going. Home to their families? Dinner waiting on the table? Hugs when they walked in the door? What would that feel like? Whenever anyone reached for me, I recoiled, sure I was about to get backhanded. Pulling my feet in close, I wrapped my arms around my shins. I was cold, but not shivering. I should have been. This wasn't right. And it wasn't right what happened to Oakley. It shouldn't have been him. I was the one who ought to have died that night. Now I was cold. So cold my bones could snap. I hated winter. Couldn't wait to be farther south. I kicked my feet out, swung them from the beam of the bridge to get the blood flowing through my veins. Arching my back, I rolled my shoulders, reaching out into the darkness, flexed my fingers around nothing but cold, cold February air. Time to get going. I had a long road ahead. I grabbed the truss overhead and pulled myself up and over. Clumps of ice fell to the concrete as I squeezed between the rusty beams and stepped out onto the road. No cars. Hadn't been any for more than an hour. I didn't even know what highway that was down below. I'd been on these roads before, but barely knew their names. Didn't matter. I'd never see them again. All I needed to know was how to get out onto the interstate. From there, it was a straight shot south for about 8 hours, then a sharp right west and a handful of turns to Graham and Gramps' place. Flint, Michigan to Faderville, Kentucky. I had it all memorized. Once I got to Faderville, I'd ask around. Should be easy. Should be. They weren't expecting me, but that didn't matter. I was family, right? I shuffled across the bridge toward my truck, parked off to the side of the road. Well, not my truck exactly. I mean, I didn't even have a driver's license. For now, though, it was my ticket out of here, as long as it didn't drop the transmission in the next day or so. A shiver traced its way down my spine. Bare hands tucked deep in my coat pockets, head down. I didn't even see the dog until it was almost too late. If there was one thing I hated more than winter, it was dogs. He stood in the middle of the road, planted squarely between me and the truck. Long black legs, lean like a racehorse's, broad-chested, all muscle. A whip-like tail hung stiff and low behind his back legs. There were spots of brown on his toes, a patch of it on his chest, and more.